One of the most misunderstood sayings is the saying, nobody's perfect. This saying is typically understood as a reasoning for inadequacy. Hey, I've done all I could, and besides, nobody's perfect. No, dear viewer. Understood in this way, this saying has a bitter aftertaste. It decreases your self-esteem and wounds your pride as it leads you to think you have a limit. I could only be this good anyway, because the unavoidable truth is that nobody's perfect. False. On the contrary, it's quite the opposite. The word perfect suggests something unattainable. However, you will only think of this word in this way if you fail to understand your own value. You are, by default, limitless. And I mean you, not what the reality of your circumstances would have you believe, but you as you are. A human is by default limitless, completely capable of what is deemed impossible. Does the good Lord not say, "This that I do, you can do, and more"? John 14:12. I'll correct this old cliche of nobody's perfect through a Les Brown quote. He asks the crowd, "Practice makes what?" In unison they reply instinctively, "Perfect." To which he says, "No, immediately dismantle that belief system. Practice makes improvement." You could hear the gasps of realization because it's already dawned on them. He continues, "Practice makes improvement because you can always better your best. You are always bigger than what you do. That is why there is no perfect, dear viewer. Can't you see? Not because it is unattainable. That's a laughable thought to a limitless human who understands there are no limitations. On the contrary, it is because perfect is in fact beneath you. You are a divine human, the intellectual species. God has breathed his own breath into you to give you life, and he is divine. So what does that make you? Divine also. And is the divine limited? Does the divine have restrictions? Certainly not. You are top of the food chain. You are man. You could be the Ubermensch. Thus, of course, perfect is beneath you, because perfect suggests a limit. When you are in school and you receive a perfect score, that is the limit. There is no more you can get beyond 100%. However, in the marked scheme of life, there is no such limitation, because you can always better your best. If you set a world record, you have now become the best. But my, how many more times could you break that record? I can tell you, it's limitless. You are always bigger than what you do is so imperative to understand. Alexander the Conqueror said, "Limits do not exist, only acceptance of them." And this is a man who said this in response to what we have all heard many times. Oh, every man has limitations, simply be satisfied with what you have now. This truth is not widely revealed to you, because what will people gain in you knowing your worth? It is a question worth asking yourself. In you becoming aware of your value, another person is likely to hear more no's from you than yes. That is why people seek to control your mind, meticulously ensuring that you remain unaware, especially of your capabilities, lest you become a threat. But no one, not even organizations or governments, can lie day and night without notice. And this shows in the cracks. Your limitless mind is aware of when it is trying to be destroyed. And this is reflected in your speech. Brain rot, doom scrolling. It really is fascinating. People say with their words everything wrong with society. They say this with their mouths, but are unable to comprehend it with their minds. You are scrolling to your doom, literally. It is rather factual, incredibly factual. You scroll, you consume, you do nothing. You live a sedentary life, and then you're 90. Wondering where did the years go by? Should I tell you what I do to make sure that I'm constantly conscious of the passing time and optimizing my use of it? It's rather fun. When you have breakfast, your milk has an expiration date, give or take a week. I think, I wonder what I will have done or who I'll have become by the time this milk expires. It's a fun way to remain disciplined. If the routine, see what you've accomplished in a week, month, quarter, year, is too mundane for you. In the popular anime and marvelous manhwa Solo Leveling, the main character Jinwoo is marveled at by all others because there are limitations on all their powers. It is simply what they are bestowed with, and that's that. There is an undeniable limitation. However, the main character is the only one able to level up his powers through rigorous training and battle experience. And as he does so, he becomes awed at and revered, as they cannot fathom how strong he is. Don't you see? This anime is a clear representation of what man is and what man could be. The Ubermensch. All the other characters who cannot constantly improve and level up can be understood as humans who adopt a limited mindset and impose such limitations and restrictions upon themselves, saying things such as, nobody's perfect, to justify their inadequacy. And Jinwoo, who represents what man truly is, and most importantly, what man could be once he realizes how things truly are, void of limitation and restriction. I want you to think of this as something that everybody knows. All who you would deem successful, CEOs, emperors, philosophers, so forth, that they are all aware of this thing that is unbeknownst to you, that they have all had a secret conversation that you were left out of. I'll elaborate further on this so-called Übermensch. In the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche's book Thus Spoke Zarathustra, it's a mouthful, the term Übermensch is introduced. Brief disclaimer, the language is from way back when, so when he says ye, he means you. When he says man, he means everybody. But I'm certain you're aware of this. Übermensch is German, meaning overman, beyond man. The most appropriate translation is found to be Superman. So when I say Übermensch, understand it to mean Superman, and it'll all make sense. Now I should warn you, Nietzsche is not very polite, so get ready for some real shaming and required reprimanding. What have you done to surpass man? All beings hitherto have created something beyond themselves, and you want to be the ebb of that great tide, and would rather go back to being the beast than surpass man. Nietzsche means everything in life evolves. It progresses. A seed is planted, that plant forms into a tree, and that tree can bear fruit. That is the great tide that evolves. Yet you, man, who can do all things, want to be the ebb of that great tide of evolution, and like an ebb recede back and be the beast, merely an animal who has no governance over himself like a human does. You, who's a part of all things, choose to go against the way of all things, and like an ebb recede back into the beast, then evolve and become something more, fulfilling your role and duty in nature, in the world, in the way of all things. My, how despicable. I warned you. His words create a very tense atmosphere. What is the ape to man? A laughingstock, a thing of shame. And just the same man shall be to the Übermensch. A laughingstock, a thing of shame. Nietzsche means, how is the animal the ape perceived as by humans? Why a laughingstock? Something shameful. So much so that people use this as an insult. Oh, you're an animal. What an ape. How beastly. And in that same way, the Übermensch, the Superman, will perceive humans, man, in such a way, as a laughingstock, as something shameful. Tell me, what does your body say of your soul? Is your soul not poverty and pollution and wretched self-complacency? Verily, a polluted stream is man. But one must be a sea to receive a polluted stream without becoming impure. Beautiful, huh? I tell you, the first time I read this, I remember thinking, oof, I see why he's so well respected and liked. Nietzsche means, firstly, your body does not move on its own. It is governed by your soul. Your soul commands your body, and then your body moves as commanded. So what does your body think of your soul? What does it think of the one who commands it? What does it think of the commands it's given? Doesn't your body think your soul is filled with wretched self-complacency? When you treat your body in such a way, making it sluggard and weak, polluting it. Yes, indeed, a polluted stream is man, utterly corrupted. But luckily for you, dear viewer, one must be a sea to receive a polluted stream without becoming impure. Meaning, you have been made so grand and limitless in capabilities, though you squander it, make no use of it. You are nonetheless bigger than what you do. This is why I've told you it's imperative to understand that quote from Les Brown. Since you are bigger than what you do, you are a sea that can engulf and correct, nullify the impurities, the bad habits, which cause man to be regarded as a polluted stream. And thus you can be pure and useful like clear, clean water. Lo, I teach you the Übermensch. He is that sea. In him can your great contempt be submerged. In my insecurities will cancel out any good characteristics you have YouTube video I mentioned. You should speak to yourself with two voices in your head. One voice belongs to the ideal person you wish to be. This is the reprimanding voice. The second voice is you as you currently are, which is unsatisfactory, and thus listens in order to evolve and become the ideal person you wish to be, who carries the first reprimanding voice. The more you do this, learning from the reprimands from your ideal, your current self, who carries the second reprimanding voice, will no longer exist, as you will morph and transcend into the ideal person, as there will be nothing left to reprimand, as your behaviors will then be in accordance with the ideal person you wish yourself to be. Linking with Nietzsche, the disapproval your body feels towards your soul, who does not command it as it should, and the dissatisfaction you as you currently are, who carries the second voice, feels, will all be submerged when you transform and transcend into the Übermensch, when the second reprimanded voice no longer exists. Because you are now your ideal self, Nietzsche's Übermensch. This also links with the famous German poet Goethe's infamous quote, "Before you can do something, why, you must first be something." You must first realize the Übermensch is within you, and then unlock and set him free. Then you can morph into him once you realize and acknowledge he is there waiting within you, awaiting freedom, awaiting embodiment. Man is a rope stretched between the animal and the Übermensch, a rope over an abyss, a dangerous crossing, a dangerous wayfaring, a dangerous looking back, a dangerous trembling and halting. What is great in man is that he is a bridge and not a goal. Ah, how nice. Such severe words ended on such a hopeful tone. Nietzsche means a human is like a rope, stretched between his past, former and lesser self, and his ideal, the Superman. His journey towards the other side of the rope, towards his ideal self, is a harrowing journey, is a dangerous crossing, filled with constantly looking back at your past, and trembling in fear and stopping many times in pursuit of your ideal. But what is wonderful about man is that he is a bridge and not a goal. Man can indeed better his best because he is beyond perfect, as he can always improve endlessly. Thus it is to man's benefit that practice does not make perfect, it makes endless improvement. And because you can always better your best, you are indeed always bigger than what you do. A human is not a goal which suggests a limit, an end. He is beyond man, over man, Übermensch. He is a bridge. And on that note, please be sure to like, comment and subscribe.